What comes after the American dream? How I stopped relying on that old myth and learned to live without one. Written and read by yours truly, Oakie McDoakie. Screw ups and all. You know the song American Pie? I missed all the references to rock and roll legends. What I caught instead was the sadness in Don McLean's voice, the sense that something had ended, an era, an innocence, a story. It spoke to me as a teenager, even though I'm Gen X, not a boomer. The music died for me, too, only in the 1980s and 90s. No, it took longer than that. Let me go back to the 1980s. I was coming into political awareness as the Cold War wound down. I began to notice the nasty little moral compromises the U.S. was making. Sure, the USSR was nasty too, but it was U.S. moral superiority I had grown up believing in. I came from a God and country family. Most of the men had served, many were career military. We proudly traced our ancestry to American heroes in the Civil War and the Revolution, back to the Mayflower. In my teens, though, no need to rehash the politics. The point is this: I stopped believing in God and country. American exceptionalism began to taste sour. How much? I quit Boy Scouts within spitting distance of earning Eagle. I couldn't go through with it. Not to make my family happy, not to open doors to scholarships and opportunity. God and country is baked into Scouts. It's right there in the Scout law. Reverence and obedience. I couldn't do it either anymore. Not obedience to a government and culture I no longer saw as moral, nor reverence for a church whose beliefs just didn't add up for me. It was a lonely place to stand at 15. My family didn't understand what I was talking about. Some thought I'd just gotten bored. Some thought I wanted to be cool. Some chalked it up to rebellion, a way to spit in my parents' eyes. None could imagine a teenager taking a principled stand. I'm not sure I'd die on that same hill today, but at 15 I meant it. Was that the day the music died? Not quite. The old America and apple pie still had a faint hold on me. I nearly enlisted during Operation Desert Shield, the first invasion of Iraq to drive Saddam out of Kuwait. I came closer than my family knew to signing the papers. The war ended before I did. Just as well. I'm not sure the Army and I would have survived each other. Time passed. I moved out and began building a life. Career. House. Marriage with stepkids. A ready-made family, as my grandma called it. The well-trod path. Some version of the American dream. Then 9/11 happened, and the country lost its balance. Shock does that. We made some ugly damn choices, which led to other ugly damn choices. Whatever American pie I still heard was growing fainter. Maybe that wasn't what finally stopped the music. Maybe it was the divorce and the slow unraveling that preceded it. I lost my place in the American dream. Wife and kids, mutual friends. Estranged from her family and mine. House and old career gone. I even lost my dog. Uprooted completely. A man without a country. How does a man who's lost it all get up and move forward? How does he orient himself? Pick a direction, choose a goal? I had to discover that answer for myself. I thought of Buckminster Fuller. After his daughter died and his business collapsed, he was broke and directionless, flirting with the idea of checking out. Instead, he chose something radical. Stripped of status and security, he was free to do anything, so he treated his life as an experiment. That idea gripped me. I had a vision, an RV at Big Bend National Park, alone, writing a novel. That became my guiding star. The path there wasn't straight or clear. I never did achieve exactly that vision. I started with what seemed sensible. Graduate school in English, something adjacent to writing, something practical. It worked in its way. I had a great grad school experience. I worked as an editor. I taught college freshman English. I moved into freelance copywriting. I published some poetry, essays, and short stories, and edited for a local publisher. I bought a little house, almost got married again. Not a wildly successful, famous writer life, but the life I thought I wanted. It's still, I felt like a man without a country. There was an aching hollowness that getting my externals in order didn't fix. There was no reviving that American dream. Not for me. I couldn't hear that music anymore. Then a good friend of mine died of ALS, Beth. It's a disease whose origins are murky and whose cure remains out of reach. I was her caretaker in her last year. She went from fairly normal to withered and immobile in months. James Dean supposedly said, "Dream as if you'll live forever, live as if you'll die today." Watching Beth decline made that more than a slogan. It made it urgent. I remembered my guiding star, the RV at Big Bend writing the novel. So I built out a camper van and set off to see every national park in the lower 48. I did it too. Not the novel, just the parks, except one, Channel Islands. Didn't want to mess with LA traffic. And somewhere on the road, something shifted. I realized I didn't need the American dream or any other story to give me a map. I just needed to keep moving. Through forests and deserts and mountains, I was simply alive. Not much difference between me and a coyote, except the fur. The sun came up, the sun went down, I breathed. There's a music to that, too, only quieter. You gotta be real still to hear it. I drove on and saw more of this beautiful land until I was satisfied. And in time, I came to Hippie's End. If you like this, you can tip me on ko-fi.com/Oakie McDoakie or follow me on Substack and the socials. Just go to oakiemcdoakie.com. Until next time, don't let the bastards wear you down.